to hide, we'll fight on your side. He takes you back to the age of safety and security. Now you know how to be on your own. This might be like a prison. You can recover your sanity. When you need to replace the things that you love, go ahead. Find what leads into infinity. He's a fighter. He's a fighter. When there's no coming back, he's a fighter. He's a fighter. He's a fighter. When there's no coming back, he's a fighter. Don't second guess yourself. You come with this time. You say it's not your fault, but you just can't deny. I can see it in your face many times. Now you change your story, try to say we are the same. But you can keep on dreaming. Trying to hold this out, it's falling from you. You act in desperation, you got me tails. You're coming back with me, 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 back with me. stop me now. Come back with me.
Bright lights caught me now. Red signs like holy night, towering, can't stop me now. My flight brought me back down. Landscapes a perfect hell. But if I can, I'll say a little prayer. Heaven, don't shoot me down, 'cause I see it. Heaven, don't shoot me down, 'cause I need it. Heaven, don't shoot me down, 'cause I see it. Heaven, don't shoot me down. Heaven, don't shoot me down. I fight tell me, can we talk about it? I know you are one for many words, but what I feel is so deep it hurts. I am down to put in the work, so just tell me, can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Oh, can we talk about it? Oh, can we talk about it? Tell me, can we talk about
There is no place and no moment in history where I could stand and say, arithmetic begins here, now.
Still the one for me, and I know that you just might be everything I like. Playing in my ear, everything I say, my perfect melody. Everything I need, my perfect melody. Everything I need, everything
There's a pyramid of power with eyes that can see it all. Cameras to capture your image in City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind of cancerous. How we breathe, vapors, green colors blinking in streets like cheap paper. A simple the masses, left for plastic carbine. Realign when the shit gets drastic, lift the veil. When the systems are masked, it's just another pyramid scheme, a government racket. Combined with the power of Charles Jurassic, Nation T-Rex with covert tactics. Rise from the ashes, protect the ashes. Bring the madness. City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind. The cancerous, how we breathe, vapors, green colors blinking in the streets like cheap paper. There's a pyramid of power with eyes that can see it all. Cameras to capture your image in City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind of cancerous. How we breathe, vapors, green colors blinking in the streets like cheap paper. A simple the masses, melt the plastic carbine. Realign when the shit gets drastic, lift the veil. When the systems are masked, it's just another pyramid scheme, a government racket. Combined with the power of Charles Jurassic, Nation T-Rex with covert tactics. Rise from the ashes, protect the ashes. Bring the madness. There's a pyramid of power with eyes that can see it all. Cameras to capture your image in City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind. The cancerous, how we breathe, vapors, green colors blinking in the streets like cheap paper. Tonight's the night I'll find you. Tonight's the night we make it breathe. Take you for a ride. Why don't you come on? invisible again. Can't you feel me like that mysterious pain? Can't you hear me? Am I fading away? Scared to breathe me runs the memory away. Can't you see me? Step up, make your body rock. Gotta keep it jumping till you hit the top. So keep dancing all around the block. And when the morning comes, no, you don't stop. Beat drops and the music blasts. So just use the block and shake it every air. Throw shapes up like nobody's there. Break down, put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Jumping till you hit the top, so keep dancing all around the block. And when the morning comes, no, you don't stop. Beat drops and the music blasts. So just use the block and shake it down and down. Put the shapes up like nobody's there. Break down, put your hands in the building a fortress, and we thought it was stronger, keeping your distance. I thought we were better. We can try to just hide from the pain by building our castle. We can build them again and again, and we can feel nothing. And I know that you're feeling alone, and we can do better. So help me to break through the stone. Help me to break through. And I thought that we could be something, losing our vision, but we can't just let it consume us. We can try to just hide from the pain by building our castle. We can build them again and again, and we can feel nothing. And I know that you're feeling alone, and we can do better. So help me to break through the stone. Help me to break through.
Alright guys, welcome back to the NUEL National Championships. As you may be aware, Blizzard have had some server problems just before we started, so we're not going to be able to bring you your regularly scheduled NUEL action. But because we love you guys so much, we have set up instead an entirely illicit, off-the-books, unsanctioned match to show you on stream. My name is Peter Canfit-Hartnell, joined by Blank this evening. Blank, how do you feel about broadcasting an entirely illegal match between these two teams?
Well, we've been blown out of the water here. We've been thrown into something very dangerous. So we're looking at a game between Swansea and Aberdeen. So it could be good. A good match coming up here. We're seeing it on Ilios. So maybe we're going to see some boops coming up from Bebop. I hope so indeed. But I'm going to throw this one back to you and let you introduce before we jump very, very shortly into game here.
It's worth, well, before we get things truly underway here, it's worth noting that we will have to reschedule this week's matches, so we've got still 1 week's worth of play before we get into the playoff stages. But for what we're going to be seeing on stream here, as we've got the Reservoir Hogs from Aberdeen, are currently number 2 ranked team with 7 points, going up against Rogue Swan from Swansea, our number 12, which is a fairly big illustration of how close the top of the table is. And we're just getting started. I think we are actually going on to Blizzard World. This is a unsanctioned map for NUEL, so everything's out the window. Anything could happen. And honestly, Blank, I hope it does.
Indeed, we're having some illegal action here getting on Blizzard World, just, you know, to really rile them up here. They've never played this map before. They're so excited to go. So we're going to quickly see these teams picking up their map choices and their hero picks very shortly. We're going to go over the defense side really quickly. They do have some interesting picks of Yahaha on the Torbjorn, but will be sent straight back to base.
Yes, I think we are just going for a quick old run around and reset, so we'll be in with you guys in just a moment. So, traditionally, the NUEL takes place on good old British maps like Kings Row, I suppose, primarily Kings Row, but we'll get to see what these teams are capable of in this unsanctioned match, which will have no influence on who will be getting it through to NUEL Live, but will get the teams a chance to maybe throw out some surprises here. Certainly, Aberdeen coming as the favourites, but Swansea, with the pressure off, maybe they can show us something special.
Indeed, they might be a little bit more relaxed and more apt to make some beautiful plays on this Blizzard World map, and it is a beautiful map to accompany them as they're jumping into defense on the side of Aberdeen, but we are going to see Swansea on the attack straight away, so we'll see what kind of attack run they can bring out here, especially on this first point, which is pretty difficult to take if you take the proper grounds. And I was discussing with you earlier, and it looks like they are going to jump right up front on the side of Aberdeen, up in the faces of Swansea here. Not going to let them get too far through, maybe find some picks earlier on. Yeah, he's going to stick on this Torbjorn though. He's going to set up behind here, maybe get a few pot shots off, trying to get that Molten Core up and ready to get back online. So before they get on point, they're going to have to be running into a Molten Viking, and that's never anyone's day.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is the chance for the teams to really cut loose. We will be... There we go. Just getting into game now. Apologies for the delay there. But we'll get things underway in just a few seconds. We'll definitely be seeing picks which we've never seen before. Plays which were too extreme for regular NUEL television. As we get things kicked off, Swansea duffing out the day, and they completely missed that turret. Oh well, it was a nice thought.
Yeah, so we're going to see the 4-tank combo here, the Slambulance coming out here, straight onto point, looking for Patience to be putting in that ER, get them set up on the beds, but they're not quite on point just yet. Arista shield does go down, Bailey GG is in the front with that Reinhardt shield popped up, almost going down though very shortly, and that bomb will bring them all in. Holt been used to great effect in this fight, and Torbjorn's just in the back there looking for some picks, not trying to find anyone, but Billy GG and these tanks, they're putting on the pain on the point, and looks like the point will go quickly over in the favour of Swansea in this fight.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from Swansea. We expected Aberdeen to do very, very well, but Devotion going down early in that exchange felt like it was only a matter of time. Very impressive stuff. Now, of course, we're going to get ourselves some good old-fashioned payload action. We'll see how well Aberdeen hold up now as they really get pressed back early.
Yeah, so you do see Swansea picking out this 4-tank combo. Maybe you should have switched off onto one of the DPSs, because now they're going to Streets phase. This waiting tank combo, not as good, especially when Yahaha putting down the AoE down with that ferret in the air. You don't have much to deny that. So this push could be pulled quite short, and Billy GG's going to fly straight into the wall, you know, just an intimidation play there. Not doing too much, however, and the Rectangle Bob is going to look for Katsuni in the background. We'll find the pick, gets the hook onto him mid-air, and this is going to give him the opportunity to push it, unless Chimpy goes down early.
Yeah, we've got the odds dropping down to try and push Swansea further forward. who are being spread a little bit. We've got Yamaha up on the high ground to try and drop down the damage. We're going to be pushed away. Billy Egg taken out with the front line of Swansea though. This push is still up for grabs.
Definitely still up for grabs here, and they're finding a lot of prizes as they walk through. Yaha stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that Diva Bomb goes down. See if you can find anyone. Everyone just hides behind the walls though, not having any of that. And Chlorine with this bunker play is not working too well when they're infiltrating the bunker so fast here. And Yaha's getting back in again. See if you can pick up that Riptide soon and get them off this point ASAP. Bongos is down now. Moira Coalescence comes out trying to heal the team, and a lot of picks have been found on here. Kills swinging on the side of Aberdeen. This might be a screeching halt to the side of Swansea.
Yeah, this is the first time that Aberdeen have been able to actually put any kind of stop to Swansea's momentum. It felt a little bit shaky for Swansea just getting up to the entrance to the Black King, but ultimately I'm impressed that Aberdeen now going to be able to make back some of that ground. No more Torbjorn, very sadly blank, but maybe, just maybe, next time round.
I really hope that Torbjorn comes back in full force. It looked so strong until those tanks came in the point and blasted him out of the poor waters. Couldn't be a Viking too much. You do see Yaha in an interesting spot on top of the pipeline, jumping down with their team. Billy GG does get hooked in and trapped down there by the hunter. That is Yaha. Self-destruct does come out again. Might find the kill onto Jonty, but just avoids it, but will fall to Chlorine. So that's their Lucio out the fight. So no more healing on the footsie battle unless they can get Curio with that Coalescence to do some work in this upcoming fight.
I liked how creative Swansea are getting here with the offense, trying to attack from multiple angles. Now instead going for the 1 point offense. We've got the Coalescence coming down to try and buy some ground, but Aberdeen for now are holding firm underneath the archway.
Yeah, indeed, and that double coming out from Yaha is going to stop them from pushing any further there. Couldn't quite hit it with Rectangle Bob trying to throw a rocket at that Riptide. I mean, explosives do cancel out explosive, but his mark wasn't quite there and wasn't able to pick up that. But they are looking pretty good on the side of ultimates, on the side of Swansea. Well, Billy GG keeps swapping out like that and sending his ult charge back to 0. It's not great looking on the side of him. Katsune is looking at Deadeye soon to get that Pharah out of the skies, and Devotion does have Transcendence for this next fight if they try pumping anything too drastic. They're looking to pop that Transcendence when the Pharah barrage comes down or Chimpy pulls out the Tac Visor, because that can be quite scary, but Transcendence does a pretty good job keeping your team healthy, that kind of thing.
I think you can't really ask for too much more, as again, Swansea going to come in from one angle. They have got Rectangle Bob up in the skies, as well as the Stealth Struck comes in, takes out Yaha. This could be the push that Swansea get through. We've got the Coalescence coming out to try and cut through the lines of Swansea, and but Chimpy doing some real nice work on the soldier.
Devotion popping a pretty useless Transcendence there on top of Coalescence, not really cycling out those ultimates as they should, but Katsune's doing the heavy lifting in the back here, picking a kill onto Chimpy, and that double kill earlier on the fight. Smithy is down, don't want to get back into the suit. Jonty pops a very questionable sound barrier, not really helping anyone but himself. He wants to get out of there, he's desperate to leave. He does not want to be part of that party anymore.
Rectangle Bob gonna get a few parting shots off before Swansea retreat to lick their wounds. Aberdeen holding the ground pretty well so far. I'm honestly pretty impressed.
Not doing too badly.
Yeah, I'd love to see Swansea trying to go for this multi-point offense from before, but it felt like when it didn't work the first time, we just got frustrated and are now going to try and charge everything down Aberdeen's throats.
Yeah, indeed. They've got this bunker comp here. Chimpy was really required, but Billy GG's going to fall really early in this fight, and the self-destruct without any shield is going to be extremely effective. Everyone's forced back in the house. There's going to be Yaha some free reign to drop those nades down on top of Swansea. Barrage comes down very unexpectedly and is wasted as Plume finds the counter, and they're still going to have to retreat here, and spawns on the side of Aberdeen a very, very advantage on their side with them being so close to the payload at the moment.
Swansea going to back off once more, acknowledging the lost ground. But look at the ults. Aberdeen with 3 in their pockets against just 1 for Swansea. And time is starting to run out. Swansea going to have to take some of these really disadvantaged fights. They have to make this offense stick. Blank, I'm not sure how they can manage it.
They're going to have a real tough time here. With Curio with the Transcendence isn't going to stop that Riptide as he rips apart your enemy team. So here it comes here. Going to look for some big picks. Does find 2 of the DPSs. And that's going to push them back so easily. And Sloom is doing what Sloom does best. Self-destruct comes out. Not going to find anyone in the air though, apart from that Bongos. And that's going to drop the fight in a very musical fashion.
Well, we are doing best of threes for these entirely off the books dark matches between these two teams. Again, these are unofficial new matches being done purely for all of you fine people watching tonight who don't want to be disappointed by the Blizzard server problems, which are not quite resolved enough to be able to firmly put through official new matches, but we can at least show off some of what these teams are capable of when we take all the rules away.
Indeed, without these rules, some strange picks are coming out with the Torbjorn. Didn't work as effectively as we saw. The counterfeit was forced to switch off straight away and come back to maybe the more standard. Hopefully seeing something a little bit interesting on this first push coming out from the side of Aberdeen. I am hoping. Yaha on the attack Torbjorn though. I'm not too sure about that one, man. That might not work too much in your favor unless he is godly with that aim, which I'm hoping he is. I would quite like to see it.
I've been burned too many times before, Blank, to believe that's going to last beyond that initial 50 seconds remaining, but I hope, I pray that somehow they'll make it happen. And, you know, the best form of offense is a good defense. At least I think that's the way around it works, isn't it, Blank?
Yes, it is indeed. And if you're throwing out those armor packs here and there, well, that's the best offense you've got. But we're going to jump into this first map. I do hope that Torbjorn comes out. Would be interesting to see here. Aberdeen did have a tough time holding this first point, but the second point they did really well. The problem that Swansea had was that they couldn't get the team wipes, and the spawn advantage is so heavily on the defense favor. You can just push them in. You need to get rid of the entire team before pushing on, and we see how close this payload was to making its way onto the second point, but just no donut was found for this team of Swansea, so they're going to have to regroup, try and flank if they can keep this first point alive, and well, keep the dream alive of that 10-1.
Well, last time round, Aberdeen were actually pushed off that first point very, very quickly. We'll see if Swansea can put up a little bit tougher of a defense. It was that initial pickoff which cost so big, as we just as predicted, that high ground taken and pouring out the fire, taking its shelter behind Sir Timothy's shield.
Yeah, this pull pot combo working well, and Yaha gets trapped like that. It's not a good time. The double concussion mine picks the kill onto Yaha. And that's going to stop this pretty early. Pretty terrifying Junkrat coming out from the side of Yaha. Just 2 for 1 there. He'd be a great time to have in a bargain buy shop, you see. And, we're going to be moving on to the second push. They were a bit split on that first one from the side of Swansea, so now they're going to look if they can get back into this room and maybe team up as a group instead of 2 trios, which didn't work too well if you've got this clumping pull pot combo on the top side. Looking for that hook there, doesn't find it. That's a 10-second cooldown, can go in now. Yaha not finding anything, unfortunately, and is forced to back on the side of this point.
Well, Yaha Fiddly D is going around this side, trying to see if he can catch a surprise on the two. Swansea is going to charge in and knock away. Maybe a chance for Aberdeen to break the line here, but nope, not going according to plan whatsoever. Aberdeen looked fantastic on the defense, but offensively, it doesn't seem to have worked at all so far.
No, they have a really good combo up here. They have the Orisa popping up the shield, and then when things get started to heat up, they drop down and they use Billy GG as that front line. But with that take a breather, keeping them alive for these entire fights. And you've got Rectangle Bob just raining down bullets from the top side. Gonna go for this one. Got the Riptide coming out here, looking for some picks onto the supports, finds Devotion in the back, and it looks like they're gonna go in again. Sloom does find Chimpy though, as he's using the thing. Attack Visor goes out on Rectile Bob. He's gonna try and find some kills here. Does find 2, and this probably will end this fight pretty early here. Nice hook on the side of Billy GG to finish this out, and finally staggering poor Sloom and sending him back to the drawing board.
Wow, it's a totally different Swansea side we're seeing. I think much more reminiscent of how they started out the game. Of course, because this map isn't currently part of the NUEL lineup, this is the one they're going to have the least experience playing on. I think perhaps it's accounting how Aberdeen gave up this first point earlier, but Swansea are making one hell of a defense.
Yeah, Soundbarrier goes down here to initiate the fight. They don't find too much, but Sloom does find that kill onto the back line. Tracer finally goes down, so there's no more annoying, pesky Mosquito in that back doing too much damage. Reinhardt finally falls out, and Sloom is popping that self-destruct. Might find a few unless the shield goes down. Doesn't find anyone, and Devotion is popping off here, finds 2 kills. And they might just be able to clear this out as the rest of Aberdeen is coming onto the point now.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. Finally makes it happen for Aberdeen. We have got Swansea coming in for the back. I don't think they're going to commit in for this one as a second check mark. And I think we are just about to... No, we've got a Jonty trying their arm to try and delay as long as possible, but we've got the payload coming out. Last time, Aberdeen were able to put out a rock-solid defense. Swansea are going to be a hard match to pull off exactly the same thing.
Yeah, Johnny just serving as a ult battery to the side of Aberdeen there, letting them get a few of their ticks up. Riptide comes down, does find the kill onto Chimpy. They're hoping to push off this now. With the Moira down on that first fight, that actually stopped a lot of the damage coming through because Jonty wasn't able to heal up Billy GG and that front line. And it looks like they're just going to be pushing this as fast as possible. If they can get that payload moving though, Xenia, I wouldn't be happy because the payload in motion stays in motion. They're not quite staying on it right now.
We've got a very sneaky Riptar coming in from the side. I think it's just going to sneak around. And no, I think it's...
Yeah, I managed to drop an explosive on it. Nope. He managed to destroy it.
Ah. I was waiting for the big kaboom, but there was no earth-shattering kaboom.
Yeah, Rectangle Bob here is popping Tac Visor. Many of the team is on the high ground and can't actually find too many people. Will fall here to Sloom, but he will be desuited, just walking into the enemy team. No, they have to reset here. Devotion in the back with Katsune. They're ready for this next push. Yaha possibly looking for another pick, but Sloom and Devotion, they're all looking at their ults very soon, and Chlorine does have that shatter, and they don't have much to counter that. So this shatter could be monumental and instrumental to starting this next push right.
Yeah, we've got the real big setup for an amazing fight heading on here. So many ults to bring out. Who's going to be willing to deploy them first? Gloom is about to hit that self-destruct as well. Yeah, we're nearly hitting those full ult marks. Let's get things started.
Yeah, Chimpy finds the kill to Yaha as he's ulting here. Will be dragged down to go. Bepop trying to res him up, but Chimpy was there in the background. But whilst all that's going on, a lot of his team is falling to the front line here. The Vanguards, they're doing the work, and Billy G, it's just been forced off point by Katsune in the air, been the real predator here. And it's better not send him back to the respawn here, because he's going to be forced off it. Curio does pop Transcendence very early, just to get on point. Not maybe needed. Coalescence comes out here, but actually been denied by Devotion's Transcendence on point. Yaha, finally kill onto Chimpy, so no more backline disruption there. And there's the big shadow, going to try find one of them. Misses his charge though, and Jonty gets off scot-free there. And Billy Gigi's just trying to stick on point. They need to get some more kills there. Curio does get trapped though, and that's amazing. That's huge for them. They're going to be able to push this and take this game.
Last time round, Aberdeen were able to use that coalescence so well to keep themselves in play. This time, really nice counter. And that will be the first of potential 3 matches between the two. As mentioned before, we are doing this as a best of 3 of these best of 3s. So, we've got at least one more outing between the two. But Blank, if you're talking to the Rogue Swan side from Swansea, I have noticed there are some fans of the Swansea side in the chat. What do you think Swansea need to change for their next encounter with Aberdeen?
Well, I think Rectangle Bob at the moment is really being the glue that keeps his team together. He has some great picks off, but once he gets picked off at the beginning of a fight, that's when things start to crumble on the side of their team. Chimpy's doing a good job as well. Buzz put himself in a bit of a weird position. We did see him get picked off whilst he was using that Riptide. I thought he was in a safe position, but you did see one of the side come find him and take him out before he could do anything. So it's going pretty well, but Swansea, they need to be more clumped up. Maybe choose a Reinhardt to stop the push coming in so fast. They had a good run on that first point where they actually took the high ground, but the second point they looked a little bit more sloppy and they didn't quite restabilize. So maybe just having that ability to get on point and restabilize as a fight ends will be what they need to push in. But we are going to Ilios here. This is a point where it can snowball completely on the other side favor. I'm going to start the map off with Well, and Lucio players galore, popping those people down the big hole in the middle of the map.
Yes, we know we do enjoy seeing people send for a ride as we set up our second game of completely unsanctioned NUEL action for this evening. Do let us know in the chat. Are you fans of the underdog, the Rogue Swans from Swansea, or the Reservoir Hogs from Aberdeen? Certainly, we saw some pretty impressive stuff from Aberdeen, particularly when it counted.
Indeed, we saw a lot of the fights when they didn't go in their favor, they reset off, and when the fights did start, a lot of the time there were team wipes, and that's the important thing to look at. A lot of the time you see Swansea, when they go to do a fight, it's a lot of the time you have 2 kills on that side, 3 kills on that side, and then they just kind of get scrambled and pushed off the point. When Aberdeen goes in, then it's a big team kill on their side. Swansea maybe just need to know when to play a bit more reserved on this map and come back. But we are going to see a Pharah Mercy combo on the side of Swansea, which could could be pretty ridiculous on this point unless Yaha can pop them out of the skies with that tac visor or that lovely assault rifle in his hands.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always good to see the skies filled up with fire rockets all over the place, being able to knock people into... I'm going to see how many different names I can come up for that center hole. I'm trying to think of the most ridiculous ones I can if possible. I'll have to get back to you guys. Each time someone's thrown in, I'll try and think of something new to say.
The Maw. The map Maw. The
Maw.
open mouth.
It's
I need to
hungry.
stop. It is hungry. It's ready for some more.
Oh, I like it. It's a self-referential joke.
We're going to see them popping on this left side. Battlefield does go down, keeping that team nice and healthy. We do see the side of Katsune looking for the flank there, but does get pushed off by Billy GG on that scary roadhog. Slew getting pulled down. Doesn't have boosters though, and will fall straight to his death. And this looks like going to go straight on the side of Swansea here. Had a great pick off on that Diva, so there's no more Korean future vacuum pulling up all those rockets coming down from the sky. And
Ooh, Chimpy.
Point. And this will end it, but Chimpy does fall, like you say, straight down the hole. Not a good sign for him at all.
Yes, the hole still hungers for souls as Swansea getting pretty aggressive with their defense here, actually going out beyond the Maw. That's the sequel for all you guys are keeping track at home. Perhaps not wanting to try and play around with such dangerous terrain. As Aberdeen coming back in, pushing in, Transcendence comes out.
Coalescence keeping the team relatively healthy though, and they're just going to stick around this side whilst the tac visor comes down. Barrage comes down but gets picked up by the Mora beam in midair, so that's going to feel not so great. Chlorine does get pulled down by Billy GG. All these boops are insane. Tac visor comes out from the side of Swansea but will be quickly taken off by Katsune, doming in straight to the head. All these hooks coming out here are insane. They're putting them all down this map, and it can't be hungry anymore. It must be sated by now, kind of it.
There is no end to its hunger, to its fury, as Devotion teasing the giant Sarlacc that lives at the bottom of that pit. Maybe they'll go and find out what happened to that old Bobby Fett down there. But at the moment, it's all Swansea, as they have had control and are ticking up those points.
Definitely, they might be able to pull this back on the side of Aberdeen though, unless the team can get back on Billy Chichu's just controlling the point here. Katsune finding Rectangle Bob in midair, and we'll find another there. This man putting balls through targets all over the place. Finds another, that's a triple. Katsune, you god on this Widow right now.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. We have yet, up until this point, we had not seen very much Widow at all, but it's worked out super well, and as we can see, docking around the place, taking the high ground, of course, precariously pushed above the Maw. The Maw is patient, it is hungry, and it waits. It always waits.
Bong goes down here. Chimpy goes high, looking for some kills in the backline. Devotion is out of position with Chlorine. Rectangle Bob can use that double bump. Will get popped out the side by Katsune, giving him a third eyeball in the face. And Chimpy's jumping on this backline right now, trying to give Katsune a little bit of bubble. That Coalescence is keeping him nice and healthy. Devotion does find those sound barriers into a Yaha. Goes down the side though, not quite getting him. It's soon it's about to fall to the Maw. It's crazy right now, guys. This is insane. And Katsune is continuing to find those shots all over the place. Been the real key player on this side to look out for right now. Great on McCree, and now great on that Widowmaker too.
Yeah, damage all the time, exactly where it needs to be. Really taking good use of the terrain around here to be able to fire from positions, and also they keep moving as well. Katsune moving up to the high ground, of course, going to be bringing the Nova, I believe, skin out to just show off to all of us how prestigious they are. As we see a nice pick off, he's going to get focused down a little bit by Swansea, at least driven away, as we see the big push coming back in.
Does find a shot onto Billy GG in the air, which is going to bring him very low here. Curio getting a little bit too curious as he gets shot by the Chlorine in the background there. Will not fall here, but Jonty and his fellow partner support are going to be pushed back as Katsune is in the front line Widowmaker with that SMG, not giving anyone any purchase on this point right now. As Sir Miffy, he just decides he's going to jump off the map and reset here and let them maybe take this. Aberdeen just doing a great job over here, and it's 92% ticking on over to that 100 very, very soon, Counterfeit.
We have got the push coming back in from Billy GG. Some echoes of what we saw last week. Winston so effective, but not without the rest of the team backing up. We've got the tactical visor coming out to finish off the job, and the Maw demands sacrifice. And we cannot finish the game without some more thrown down at that big old mouth of doom.
I feel like I'm on an episode of Indiana Jones right now. And look, there we go. He falls down into the maw once again.
Sacrifice!
Popping up the whole hog, keeping him off point as long as possible. He wants that 99%. He wants that overtime wick to fall down. These hooks are all over the place. And Slim actually brings himself to his doom here. And Rectangle Bob is still on the point. Taking a breather here. He's drinking and driving, trying to stay on point right now. He jumps into the back though. Billy GG is finding the kills onto the support. Goes down. That Winston shield is going to be a big bother. Self-destruct comes out. Might find Devotion here, but he gets on the point. And it's a C9 as they don't quite get onto it.
Wow. Well, Aberdeen, they commit themselves unto the maw as they should to celebrate their win. They're really nicely played, and just as you said, so impressed with what we saw from Yahaha in that one. Just absolutely picking apart Swansea despite some incredibly, in-your-face offensive moves thanks to the Winston and Diva.
Definitely want to highlight that. I completely agree with you, Counterfeit. Yaha is one to be watching. You didn't see his name come up very often in the kill feed unless he was sacrificed the more, as you say. But that was the only time. And that was really just to keep the Dark Gods happy and let them win that map out there.
Well, unfortunately, no sacrificial pit for the second time around, but we do have the central arena to try and bring everyone to bear on each other. It looks like Aberdeen will be the first ones into that fighting pit, trying to keep Swansea from finding their way in as well.
He's going to try Bull Rush Johnsy here, but he does get out there just in case. And Chimpy is taking on damage, goes down, pops the shield, doesn't quite get out there, but pops the laser in the face of Devotion. Katsune still on that Widowmaker, picking up the kills left, right, and center. Finds the kill onto Chimpy. Billy GG in the background, again doing a great work, but Chlorine roasting people with that Tesla cannon in the background. Coalescence comes out, but they're going to ignore the point as it gets ticked over to the side of Swansea. Not doing a bad job. Sermity will be desuited here, but it looks like it will go inside of Aberdeen as they flip this point over. Unless Jonty has anything to say about it.
Jonty always has something to say about everything, honestly, but not going to be heard this time round. I mean, well, last time it was Swansea who managed to get that initial point, managed to get a lot more points last time around than this, and it looks to be that Aberdeen are going to take a leaf out of the Swansea book and go for that proactive defense to stop Swansea getting anywhere near that point. As of course, we've got another Widowmaker up on the high ground to keep Swansea pinned down.
They're doing everything they can right now to get Katsune out of the picture. They have Billy GG on the Winston. They have Rectangle Bob, but they just can't find him anywhere. And they're second on this left side right now. Yaha pops the Dragon Blade, looking to kill onto Curio, finds his way out there, maybe uses dash a little bit early, but does finally find him and slices and dices him, makes him into sushi and gets him out of the picture. So that's a lot of healing removed from that team. Self-destruct comes down, doesn't quite find anyone in this fight. Yaha is desperately trying to stay on this point, but getting roasted alive by that Tesla cannon, not doing a great job of him, and he will be cut and left off the point there.
Really nice play from the side of Swansea there, able to just pick off and isolate the individual members of Aberdeen, with Chlorine, the captain of the Reservoir Hogs, taken out of commission. It felt like a much easier fight without having to deal with that Winston in the close quarters.
Chimpy is looking at grab from search here. Can be then neutralized quite quickly by the sound barrier though, but they're looking to push up. 2C Chimpy walking in now, drops it down, but gets eaten by the Diva. That Korean vacuum just sucks it up and doesn't let you do anything, and they're going to be looking a little bit confused as they push back onto this point, wondering where that Graviton actually went. And Rectangle is still in the skies here. Chlorine looking to pick up a kill onto him. Billy GG coming back in, looking at kill onto Katsune, who has switched off onto the soldier now to get a little bit more healing down, a little bit more direct targeting. But it looks like they will finish this fight out regardless, with Billy GG smacking away, going bananas in this background right now.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from Billy GG, just completely imposing their will on the Aberdeen side. This game too, a very different experience from game number one. Swansea seemed much more comfortable on this second map. Again, are going to be trying to at least push out a little bit from the point, but here comes the counter-aggression from Aberdeen.
Yeah, Rectangle Bob does pop the actual Dragon Blade, but taken out by the Tac Visor. You can't escape ulting Soldier, who just has the perfect aim, and that Coalescence using to great effect to keep his team alive here. Devotion is looking on Sound Barrier coming up very shortly. Winston Bubble's going to keep them all alive in this case, and that's a very decisive win from the side of Aberdeen, but they are looking on 44% to 96. They only need one more tick over here and one more flip on the side of Swansea to win this map out. Counterfeit, I am so worried that without the Dark Gods in the favor of Aberdeen, they might lose this one.
It's looking very dicey. I mean, certainly the last fight was very ult-light. We've got the ticks coming through. Kirio certainly has got the coalescence up and ready. Not going to waste any time whatsoever on unleashing it upon Aberdeen. These close quarters make it so difficult to avoid.
Can't quite keep Sir Smithy up, but gets taken down by a nicely placed healer rock in the background. Curio will take out Yaha. You can't really avoid the decay in the skies. And Sloom will be do so. So he also wants to get that suit back up again. Graviton comes down, knows there's no vacuum to suck it up there, and they might just be able to flip this over because it's a very convincing team fight from the side of Swansea. 97%, 98. It looks like you might be done, Aberdeen, in this case.
Wow, okay. Impressive stuff, yes. When the back and forth came through, eventually the rogue Swans were able to find out. Of course, Swans, the most aggressive, fastest, and deadliest animals on the planet, so not to be taken lightly.
Sorry about that, Camper. Just taking a quick swig of water there. Get my voice back up and running. All this water on Ilios is making me very thirsty. But yeah, we're going to be jumping onto Lighthouse now. This is a there's a map that's dominated by who can get on the point first, really. So we do see Lucio on both sides using that speed boost to get them just up and running as fast as possible. So we're going to see a very, very similar team comp. But you're going to have the triple tank coming out from the side of Swansea. So maybe a Reaper is in order for Aberdeen to try and deny this comp so much, because they're doing a lot of work. And Yaha can't find those Dragon Blade kills when you got 3 tanks in your face smacking your back.
Yes, Swansea are going to be the ones late onto the point, but they're not going to be perturbed at all. Time to get things mixed up in the close quarters, pouring in the damage. But are they going to make it count? Sloom and Chlorine able to stay out for the moment, but I think Sloom's going to get knocked out of the mech, but be able to take a little bit of shelter inside.
Desuited, but definitely not decouraged as he walks straight into the fight here. Continues to use his Bunny Blaster to send these team of Swansea packing. So looking very, very good on the side of Aberdeen. They're going to stay on point. That Death Ball, as they stopped inside and just stopped anyone coming through those little choke points, was extremely useful. They are going to set up closer to this door, and Chlorine makes a nice little jump there. Going to be using his Tesla Cannon to shoot down the enemy team. It'd be a good read if they walk through, so let's hope he has some good predictions, but he does find Billy GG in his face instead and will be forced to jump out and then get some healing from his team. Sloom finds Billy GG as he goes very low, and he's in the backline once again. Katsune does have that attack visor though. Curio has Coalescence to keep him up, but will fall before even using the Kamehameha in this case, and Sir Smithy will be popped off the map, left to fall to his doom.
Yes, the Swans looking a lot less comfortable. The Lighthouse certainly seeming to be a bit of a tricky one for them to even get really a foot inside so far, and to lose out on Curio before even getting to use the Coalescence, that's gonna sting pretty badly.
Definitely indeed. You do see Chlorine being that mosquito, doing the stinging in the front line. Nice initiation from him, made it so that Swansea's push wasn't as good, but they do have a lot of ultimates to work with here. But just to the side of Aberdeen, that Devotion sound barrier is going to be absolutely monumental in this fight to keep him alive. We'll take out Yaha on the side, though. He doesn't get to use his Dragon Blade. It looks like they were just going to go down. That Coalescence along the side of Dragon Blade was just insane in that fight, finding picks left, right, and center, and Bebop will jump down and reset this fight immediately. They do have still ultimates on the side of Aberdeen, so they're looking to flip this quick. Yaha going to bring out the Dragon Blade as the next fight counterfeit, and we'll see if he can find the supports, because he hasn't been able to find too many so far.
Yes, again, it's always going to be Yaha. I think we need to be keeping an eye on if they live or die. Thereby, lives or dies Aberdeen's chance to say, oh, one game up in this series, and let's get started with the next fight.
Yeah, indeed. Sloom does find the kill, and a lot of them going low. Sir Timothy, you're going to be falling next, and Rectangle Bob just kind of ignored in the background, but will fall very quickly. Self-destruct last minute, though, goes out. I'm not sure about that one coming out from the side of Sloom there. Maybe best held for this next fight coming up, because you do see a lot of this team is looking pretty good on ult charge, whereas the side of Aberdeen, they're looking kind of lacking, apart from that Primal Rage that might come up during this next fight if they can hold it for that next 15%.
I do agree, Blank. It seems like perhaps a little bit of an overcommit from Aberdeen. Perhaps getting a little bit nervous here that Swansea might be able to come back and make the big play. Here it comes.
So Timothy is stopping this fight out with a self-destruct. Looking if he can find anyone. Doesn't get anyone, though, and Chlorine finds Johnny in the background. It does find Sloom's D-Mech, though, and that's big. But he gets dropped off the map, though. That's huge. Curio was dropped off the map using Coalescence. The Coalescence of their own, and Aberdeen side comes out. Gentle Bulb uses dash though, and that may be too early to be using that dash because he can't find Curio in the skies and will go down here.
Well, that is going to be the end of it. Aberdeen winning out these 2 matches in a row means that they will be our official, unofficial winners of our first series. But let's spend a little bit of time with Curio's Moira. Of course, the Moira is getting an enormous amount of work done in this whole series.
Yeah, I did a huge play here, had the correct pickoff, understood that his team was pretty much alive at that point and could use the Coalescence for a little bit more offensive needs and turn into the DPS that their team maybe needed a little bit earlier.
So for any of you guys who are just tuning in, because of Blizzard's server problems, we've not been able to bring you the usual NUEL spring season games, but to make up for it, we are showing off some of the NUEL teams playing in exhibition matches, which is why you're seeing some more unusual things. For any of you guys who are just dropping in on the stream for the very first time, the NUEL is a UK organization which allows students in universities all over the UK to play against each other in organized competition. So in this case, the Overwatch League, along with the League of Legends League and the CSGO, all competing for a space at the big live event, NUEL Live. Details coming up soon. But for now, we will have to go ourselves to a wee break while we see if we can find ourselves a second set of teams to show off their skills live on stream.
We shall catch you then.
Alright guys, welcome back to the stream and to our extra special broadcast of the NUEL National Championship. For any of you guys who are just tuning in, because of Blizzard's server problems, we haven't been able to bring you the usual matches, so instead we are going off the books all evening. My name is Counterfeit, here with Blank to bring you only the most illegal Overwatch maps we can find. We're going into our second match of the evening. And oh boy, I haven't even kept track of who we've got for this one. We've just brought these guys
It's
in.
Manchester versus Brighton.
Yes,
Brighton.
Manchester versus Brighton. There we go.
Oh, Manchester Blue. Sorry, I should know that because it's got one of the guys I actually know in there. Sorry about that, stream.
That's all right. I'm sure we'll figure out as we go. Let's get ourselves into some hot temple action as we're going to see some Symmetra. Now, Blank, I don't know if you know this, but I am totally a Symmetra one-trick because you don't have to aim the gun. In fact, you don't have to aim the turrets either, so it's really a champion that works really well for me.
It's actually a very secretly high-skilled character.
Oh, yes.
I think what you're telling us all is that you're a GM right now, and you're a secret GM. This is just your alt account.
It's not a secret, let's be honest. All right,
He flaunts it.
I don't know if you are aware of this, Black, but actually underneath this temple is a direct line to the Moor from the previous one. So we get to talk about the Moor once again as we get a chance to fling as many heroes as possible off the edge as we get packed in to this first control point.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to be seeing some Orissas on this map, and Tim and Tom is going to pull this up. I'm just going to call him Mantom because I don't know how to pronounce that start of his name. But we are going to see Pick on this left side on the Junkrat, popping some grenades down. They're going to set up on the right side of the point here, but it looks like Manchester is going to take control of the point straight away, and Wobbles is going to be looking for that hook to pull them into that Moor. Mantom is going to jump onto the point though. Hyde almost going off the side, does stay in there, using that Tesla cannon to damage Tefrite as he gets a little bit too aggressive, gets popped into the corner, but no one puts Tefrite in the corner, and ASBI is going to jump out here as they're popped in. Coalescence is that popped to keep them alive, but that Riptide might stop him in his tracks, find his both of them, actually finds Stab on the side of that, and that's a triple kill from the side of Tefrite to start this illegal action out of a bang.
Yes, the Brighton Bronzies looking very, very good. We'll get the first touch on the control point. We can see in the chat a few of you guys are coming out with colours flying for the Brighton Bronzies. We'll see how they do up against Manchester. The Lucios, an extremely accomplished team themselves.
Indeed, saw them last week, did a great job, pushed them in. Hyde is amazing on this. Winston actually saw him play, has some great target selection, so hopefully get on this. But Brighton Bronzies have actually been bringing out such a great show so far. We'll see how easily they can take this first point. They have set back up on the point with Mantom just holding the control point down to contest it, stop the enemy team from getting too many ticks on it. But Hyde will immediately go in, taking the cover from the side of the wall there. And the big EMP comes out, looking for some more kills. Did not see Boy on that, and might just find Tefrite, does find him in the corner there, and Pix will pick the kill onto Soldier. That's a lot of ults invested there, Counterfeit, whereas the side of Brighton, they have 3 in the pocket to work with.
Yeah, well, if we're talking about official sanction matches, which this is not, Blank, but if we are, these are two teams who are extremely well matched. They're both on 6 points so far. The Brighton Bronzies having a slightly better percentage based on their opponents, so they come in as the very slight favourites here. But what we've seen so far suggests we're going to have a very even game all the way through.
Pix using those nades to great advantage, but this is going to be a very even match. The Self-Destruct comes down, does find a lot of the team from Brighton Bronzy, and this might be clearing the fight out pretty easily.
It does, yeah, wow, really nice play there. Brighton Bronzy's evaporating under the pressure, perhaps need a little bit more tank to stay up.
I think Manchester might have heard you a little bit there, Counterfeit, and wanted to counterfeit your ideas and pop this out to a big start for the side of Manchester.
That's outrageous. I demand they sacrifice to the Moor.
We're going to see them jump back onto the point. They've not switched out anything yet. Wow Apples does have that sound barrier to keep them up in this next upcoming fight, and they're seeming quite death-holy right now, but they're taking the side on this bridge and looking for some picks to start off. Riptide does come out from Tefrite though, looking for some kills. Doesn't find anyone just yet. Blasts into Jamie though, and won't take out High, but he will fall to a Helix Rock in the background. Not much to go off. Pix does only find Manfon, but will that be enough to keep in this fight as Chapo pops the Tag Visor? Will found Y-Apple just as he goes around the corner, but Void Boy is still putting on the pressure in the background, takes a nade to the face, and stays on point though, picking up Silver and Tefrite. This could be what they need to flip this point over once again, Counterfeit.
I think they are going to manage it though. Hyde is going to come in themselves, trying to drive back the Bronzies. There's so little left in it. Manchester up to the 80% already, and they're going to capture the point once again. The Bronzies have to make it happen right now.
Mantom does fall into the maw as he dies. Not quite what it wanted. It wants fresh meat ready to go. And they're going to be jumping onto this point here. Hyde putting a lot of pressure that Tesla can. Doesn't want to get onto the point too fast so they can flip this over real quick. Self-destruct does come out to try and keep them inside the point. Wobbles is already out there alongside Teflight. Wobbles very close to wobbling off the edge, but Stab will fall. And that Pix will find the double kill. And this might be what they need to keep them off the point. And it's just looking like Mantom is going to have to fall away. Oh, but he jumps back up again.
Whoa.
What a crazy man. Says back hello. And he's going to put them back down there and not let him back out again.
Well, that will be it for that first point, at least going across to Manchester. Brighton Bronzies showed a commendable amount of ferocity. The Moor is, of course, pleased with their multiple sacrifices, but we'll have to see if they can change things up as we go on to the next point. Brighton Bronzies at least won't have anything to fall off this time round.
Indeed. Well, it's upsetting because poor Mantom just wanted a little bit of social interaction. He came back out of the hole to say hello, and they just weren't having any of it. Just uninvited him to the party and popped him back down the hole again. So that feels pretty bad for Mantom, but he's been doing a good job on this Winston so far. Been placing his Tesla cannon in good places. Unfortunately, when he gets into the point, a lot of his team isn't backing him up on the side, but that's mostly because of Void Boy is in the background putting the pressure down. So they might need to start dealing with him. Just bring in the Vanguard back a little bit to support the backline. They do have this fire in the sky there, which Pix will find a little bit of difficulty to find those shots onto, already putting down the pain.
Yeah, the Brighton Bronzies trying to shove back Manchester into that doorway, so managing pretty well so far, though I think we might have... No, yes, they have had a sneak through, a sneaky flank round the side, but still Brighton are very, very aggressively moving and do win out that initial skirmish.
That's a really big problem for them. They do have the Mercy on this side, so they were looking for a defensive res. So now that they didn't even have to use it, it shows just how strong Brighton Bronzies are. So they do have that fall back onto. You've got to keep that in mind. Already in the skies, looking for Tefrite, but gets pretty healed up by Silver in the sky. Stab does pick up the Coalescence, so trying to keep his team alive here, but Primal Rage just already come out and finds Void Boy in the corner. That cannot feel good as he's packed away, smacked into the back lines. And Chapo is looking for a couple more kills, but Hyde is going to be just quickly pushed back into this small room, and the Tech Visor actually gets popped out. Maybe prematurely, maybe a bit of an overinvestment there, Counter.
Well, Manchester have been trying to make this big play with sending Pix around the back with the Sombra, certainly with the changes to the hack, able to disable some of that horizontal mobility of the Bronzies, but hasn't seemed to have actually made a difference so far, as Brighton are getting so aggressive that Manchester can't, with all their tricks and traps, manage to stay in the central area at all.
They're quite clumped up here, so a barrage would come in very handy as they come into this point, and there it comes out again. Doesn't find too many, finds the kill onto Pix though, and is forced back out, and then Valkyrie is popped. They can just call this an economic push now and pop out of it, even though Hyde did use that Primal Rage, but they're overcommitting a little bit too much, trying to force this fight. But Hyde is finding the kills, but Tefrite's in your backline. You need to be aware of that as the res comes out onto Mantom, and a lot of these members are getting back onto point. They need to get off this now. They do not want to be charging any more ults to the side of Brighton.
Yeah, Mantom did a great job of filling up ults. We have got ult advantage for the Manchester side as the time is ticking away here. Brighton so far completely locking Manchester out of the second point, but I think that might be about to change.
As Wobble picks up that kill onto Hyde though, that's huge. They don't have this main tank in the front line to keep them off, as Wow Apples get smacked to the side and pounded by a raging monkey. Jamie does pop his actual self-destruct, but doesn't find a thing. And it's high noon. Well, I'm sorry, it's not. Roundabouts here, it's 9, and it will be no high noon for you. Jamie and Stav are desperately trying to stay on point with the Coalescence, keeping Jamie alive, but it's not quite enough to keep him on the point. Pix finds the kill onto Silver, and that's huge, though. That's a lot of healing off their team. Hyde continue to push onto ISBI here. He really should turn around and take that healing out of the fight. He is so low, only half, but Hyde will fall very shortly afterwards, and it looks like this is going to go into overtime. And can anyone touch it? No, and it's going to go down onto the side of Brighton. This is a very close map here, Cam.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by what we're seeing from Brighton. I think maybe Manchester overreaching a little bit with what they've going to be able to make use of the recent changes to the Sombra just really did not pay off too well, even though we saw picks around the backside of the Brighton team for a really long time. Just didn't manage to get too much of anything off of it, and just raw power was enough to carry Bronzies through for a perfect game.
Indeed, they just weren't able to sustain themselves on the point, and Brighton were just finding the heals and finding the picks. And although it was slow and sad, Aberdeen just, or sorry, I should say, Manchester just slowly got themselves pushed out of that fight each time. These fights are going on for far too long. You need to find these crucial picks onto the support backline, and now that Pix has picked up the Tracer, that could be exactly what they're going for here.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Similar kind of play style, but going to be able to put down just maybe this little bit of damage. We have got a little Jamie trying to flank around the Brighton team, and it's Manchester who'd be able to take the point initially as both teams clash.
Indeed, Pixel's finally kill onto Chapo though, so it's only have to worry about Tefrite in the skies, but he is playing the fussy battle right now. Needs to get into the sky, but does blast himself into the roof, and that's going to be the end for him. Tamantom is actually staying on point now, doing a lot of damage with that Tesla cannon. Pix taking the brunt of it. War Apple's got himself in a bit of a weird position here on top of the monkey. Doesn't want to stay in there for too long. He needs to amp it up very soon or he might go down, but he does go over to the side of Brighton there. They weren't keeping an eye on the point, and Brighton were able to pick this one up.
Pix has still got the ulti ready. It's going to throw it out, try and get through the last bit of damage, but no, doesn't manage to finish off the job there. As we've got Brighton in control of the point, they're managing to so far reject the advances of Manchester, who are retreating in full force. Self-destruct, just a nice way to say goodbye to Boy Boy.
Boy kind of rolled into that one, a little bit upsetting for him. So now they're going to have to actually wait for him and wait for the mech to come back up again. They're doing a great job here on the side of Brighton. Unfortunately, the problem what's going down is they get onto point, and like I said, they get a few picks from the side of Manchester, but then they're just able to just out-sustain them, stay on point, wait for their reinforcements to come in, and then just take it pretty easily. So they need to find these, like, last-minute kills. They cannot let them stay on point forever and let Chapo run around like an athlete that he was born to be. Primal Rage just get popped by Wobbles though to Mantom, and he's stuck in there. Doesn't pick up too much, but Pix is getting slammed around on this side and will fall to that Raging Monkey in this fight.
The Lucios from Manchester going in for another push, able to get through. Wow, Apple's getting the kill, and we've got the self-destruct coming out as well. Doesn't finalize anything, but Manchester looking pretty aggressive and actually managed to push some of Brighton off the pitch.
Indeed, they're really having it all up to Hyde here to make the damage in. Might try and pick this kill onto ISBI, but he heals it straight out then. Silver's going to res Tefrite in the background here, which is going to keep him back up and just be able to put the rockets onto Hyde as he tries to escape. Tamantom's not going to let him get out of there. This may be an overcommit. If they can get back onto this, maybe find a few picks, it could be good, but Tefrite doesn't let them anywhere, showing them she is the king of the skies, queen of the skies, sorry, and picks the kill onto Void Boy, and that's going to pretty much end this right here and now, unless they can get onto the point. Hyde makes a last image attempt. Going to find some kills with that Pix pulse bomb, but it looks like they already got that Chapo doing the tag visor. Is going to be finding a couple of kills, but that Winston bubble is actually keeping him out for a long time. Hyde finally picks him up there. ISBI, they need to be really cautious of him. He needs to get out of the fight quickly. Do not let Wobbles get back into mech, because that's going to be a lot more damage that you need to pop into him. And Jamie's trying to do the same, but it looks like Wobbles will win the Diva War with the Bunny Blaster, and Void Boy will only find ISBI, but a little too little, too late, as Hyde goes Primal Rage and probably picked up by Tef right here.
Really impressive stuff from the Bronzies. It's looking like they are very close to locking Manchester out of another 100-0. Last push in from Manchester. Chapo, we were able to get a kill back through, but Manchester have got some presence on this point.
Yeah, finally getting back onto it here, but Chapo's finally killed the left, right, and center. Void Boy popping up here, takes down 2 supports. This is exactly what they need. They cannot let any more of these supports do the damage. Finally finds the kill on the Tefrite in the skies. They might be able to take this over. If this can be a 1 to 99%, I'll be very surprised, but now they have re-stabilized on the point. This could be what they need to stick on it. I don't think they're used to being on the offensive foot and defending.
No, absolutely not. I'm so impressed by what we're seeing in this game, though. For the Lucios from Manchester over in the blue, the Brighton Bronzies from Brighton over on the red. The Winstons have just been crazy good so far. And of course, those Diva ults just so impactful. But Brighton Bronzies is going to get a chance to fight back now with the 3-2 ult advantage, only needing to capture that point for a moment.
Raj really needs to find a kill on those crucial supports in the background. Drops it already, finds Stab. So that's no possible transcendence this fight, even though it just came online. That's going to be feeling really bad for him. But Void Boy does find the kill onto Silver. So that's no more actual res in this fight, which is good for them on the defense. But Void Boy is still on point here, and Tamantom is doing a lot of work.
If Stav can make it back into the fight, that'd be huge for Manchester, and it looks like Brighton Bronzies are going to get pushed back off the point. That 1%, that's all they want, but it's not what they're going to get, and Stav able to rejoin the rest of the Lucios from Manchester and keep that ticker going up. Do you think Blank will actually see a comeback from 0 to 100?
We're already on 62% here, Carrot. It's looking very likely. You do have Stav and Hyde with those ultimates and transcendences ready to stop any push they might have coming at this point. What they're going to be really aware of here is the self-destruct coming out from the side of Wobbles. If any of the supports go down, it could crumble in the favor of them, but Void Boy does find a kill into Tamantom already. Self-destruct comes down inside the Winston bubble, not going to find anyone. The premature transcendence come out there, maybe better used earlier, but their own one comes down and finds Tefrite and also DMX Wobbles, and this could be great. 86%. They only have one more push potentially at this point. They're waiting for the enemy team. Chapo picks up the soldier, try and run back that point ASAP. 91%, 92%. This could be phenomenal here, Counterfeit.
Yeah, Lucio's really showing up. It looked like it was going to be all about Brighton, but now we're getting into overtime. Last push in from the Bronzies, but they are dropping like flies.
And the classic Lucio sound barriers come out with a double kill onto both support. That's huge, and it's going to let them take this point and maybe the game here, unless he can get back to it and make a phenomenal and a last-minute miracle push, but it doesn't look like it. At the overtime whip falls down. It's going to burn the side of Brighton out of this game.
Wow, there are no miracles to be found in this unsanctioned NUEL match. We are doing these as best of 3, so the Bronzies do have one more chance, at least, to try and fight back, but really impressive stuff. The Lucios from Manchester just showing up so well. I can see you got, there's some of you guys asking about how you play in this league. If you head to thenuel.com, you can get all the information there about the various leagues that are ongoing at the moment. You will need to be a UK university student to join in, but you can check out all the information there. Also, if you want to read the blogs, there's loads of great articles there about what's going on in each one of the different leagues. So you can keep up with all the NUEL stuff and maybe get prepared. If you're not a student yet, if you're going to be going next year, then this is a great place to see some of the faces which you will hopefully be seeing in your own NUEL competition.
Indeed. I think you summed it up perfectly there, Counterfeit. I don't think I have anything to add to that.
Oh no, I took all the low-hanging fruit. All right. Well, we've got that next match coming up. I think it is going to be Lee Zhong Tower. Blank. I mean, so for the Bronzies, they did so well to start off that last one. I mean, after locking out the Lucios from Manchester, the entire second round, what do you think went wrong for them in the third to start so well but end so, themselves being locked away entirely?
Well, to be fair, you saw Wobbles during the entire lockout phase, where he had such control on the supporting characters. Like, they were on his tempo. They had to play around him, know he was coming round. And once they actually got them off the point with that miracle play at the end in overtime, it looked like the morale just went completely down there. And their team play crumbled, and it was a lot of the times where you had their Winston jumping in to the fight, getting picked off early by Void Boy. And without Void Boy, we got to highlight Void Boy. Man, that guy's been pushing them into the void the entire time, taking them out of there. He made the correct picks, and once he picked up onto that, McCree really actually made him able to pick up the crucial kills. With Lucio, the flashbang, bang to the head, he's dead. With a Winston, flashbang, bang to the head, he's dead too. So I think without Void Boy there, it could have been a very different story. But then again, I've got to give it to WoW Apples with being the resident Lucio and Lucios. He did some great sound barriers keeping them alive, especially in that last overtime. Bright and Bronzy's just really need to get it together and have that same powerful team play they had, and they showed us Counterfeit in that first round.
Well, we've got at least one more chance for the Bronzies. Do let us know in the chat. Do you think the Bronzies can bring it back, or the Lucios from Manchester? Will they be able to show up and show off live on stream? Once more, these are not official matches. These are completely unsanctioned, illegal, and probably not safe for human consumption. Brighton Bronzies, Lucios, who's going to win? Manchester have the advantage.
Indeed. I've heard someone's actually bet their left kidney on this game, so that's always enjoyable for this illegal match. And we're going to see them quickly get onto point. WoW Apple's boosting them in, looking for that boop off the side. Might find Wobbles, but he's just going to boost out of there. SBI trying to keep on it. Tefrite in the skies alongside Pix. Gets a direct hit for the rocket to the face there. And will finally pick him up on the veranda. Gets a nice explosion on him. And Tom is actually between the 4 members of the team and will take bullets from all sides. Silver rezzing up Tom again. Maybe not a great idea because that's just 500 health of ult charge they're going to give to the enemy side, whilst Wobbles gets desuited and gets back into mech again. Another unwise idea as their actual pump some more damage into him. You see Void Boy's already on 99%. He's got that pulse bomb for the next fight and it's already 0% on the pot.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a whole mess of trouble. We saw before this particular part, the Lijiang Tower is going to be the backbreaker of so many teams. That close quarters fighting, so punishing, even when a team is otherwise very comfortable with a front-facing game. Sometimes it just all falls apart. So many different places to be attacked from, and we're going to see the push in once more, all going straight across the bridge.
Tefra is going to be looking for those kills into the backline as that Genji. We do see Tamantom does no longer have that leap though, so he's going to try and pop him from that. Primal Rage is popped though, but Stab is in the skies of Pix. Just pop Valkyrie, trying to keep him alive. Self-Struck goes down, so it looks like Jamie is going to have that mech again up and running. Does take out Wobble's mech, so that's going to be monumental for this team. And Chapo Pix going to hide though, but it's too little too late as this team just continues to push on and will immediately res up Hyde, the resident medic of the team, keeping everyone nice and healthy.
It's so far it's looking pretty flawless, but we've learned to anticipate the unexpected here. We've got another push in, this time around a little bit more cautious, learning that respect, learning how quickly things can go sour. Equal ults from both sides, and Tefrite goes in, gets a nice pick off.
Barrage come down, doesn't find anyone. You do see Hyde being a lot more reserved with those leaps, which is really clever by him. But it looks like Bright and Bronzies have just found that nice little advantage that they wanted, which is going to pump them in the favor and pop them on this point. But there is 78%. But like you said, we've been learned to expect the unexpected here. We've been taking tips from James Bond, and we're going to have to really watch out here for Manchester because they might not be able to take it, but they get back on point. And Hyde is still in there, but he's going to fall very shortly unless Stab can keep him alive. They're actually getting point quite quickly. Tefrite does pop Dragon Blade, finds Pix in the skies. That's gonna feel bad.
I think the Bronzies may have saved things at the very last possible moment. The individual members of the Lucios from Manchester going in, just trying to buy whatever time they can. But alright, we've got another chance for the Bronzies to do just what Manchester did to them last time round, turn it from 0 to 100 at the 99% mark. It's going to be tough. It feels like it's such a strong control point to go in and steal away. We'll see if Bronzies can do it.
Yeah, actually a really good play coming up from side of Manchester, making this up to the 99%, knowing they only need one tick over. Silver will go down here! 95%, he almost had Transcendence. That's going to be really important to keep those. Chapo does pop Tac Visor, but that sound barrier is going to keep him out of this fight as long as possible, and he's getting smacked around, maybe off the map, but he is in the corner, gets taken down. Self-Destruct comes out. They have no Winston bubble to take this out, so Void Boy will fall in this fight. WoW Apples is still keeping everyone nice and healthy. Valkyrie is popped, and a really dangerous red onto Void Boy. He does get back up in the fight, and immediately takes out Wobble, so that's actually an amazing res. Keeps him in the fight, keeps him looking nice and juicy and rosy cheeks in this fight, and Void Boy's in the back killing the Chapo. He's coming back to point, does find Pix in the skies though. This is looking really close now, Counterfeit.
Yeah, Brighton are doing the desperation play, of course, on the control point, but are being slowly but surely driven away, or are they? Wow! Brighton suddenly come back and tear the heart from the Lucios. And with that, they will be starting to get some of those points back for themselves. Suddenly, Manchester being put on a very distinct timer.
Such an expensive hold coming out from the side of Brighton, though. No ultimates on their side, where Pix has the barrage, Void Boy has the pulse bomb, and Jamie has a self-destruct. So a whole plethora of bombs coming out so far. And let's see if they can avoid the explosives and be the real defuse team that they need. And it doesn't quite find around the corner. That feels so bad. And they're going to be getting on this point. Wow, Apple's trying to keep his team alive. Void Boy will go down and doesn't find anyone with the pulse bombs either. And it looks like Pix is the man they need to watch out for with the barrage in the skies. He really needs to pull up and be the man they need. Barrage comes down, finds no one still. Finds Chapo finally, but Silver will find him in the skies with a nice orb to the face. And they're looking on this. A lot of the teams have gone down now, the counterfeit. And Tamantom is the one pounding away on Jamie as he gets healed up, but it's still not quite enough. Transcendence goes down. Tefrite pops the Dragon Blade once again, looking to kill onto Void Boy. Gets sliced and diced and get out of there. And Jamie is still on the point sound barrier, keeping them on it just for that little while longer. This could be the one where it comes back. A fourth Chapo pops his tac visor, finding everyone and anyone.
Ooh.
Falls next. Staff goes down as well. This looks like he'll be going for the Brighton Bronzies.
Yeah, the Bronzies show up. Brighton's showing that they can do anything Lucio can do, and they are very much going to try and do it better. Really impressive stuff. It felt like Manchester had this locked down, but yeah, right at the end, I feel like it's almost a disadvantage to be up at 99% to know that you're so close to winning, but that 1% is so much further away than it seems like it should be.
So close yet, but so far. It just doesn't look like anyone's able to make the purchase on the point once they flip it. So defending side, I think maybe it's good to just, like you say, let the enemy team get 90%, 99%. This is unsanctioned after all, and methods like this do work.
They're crazy, but they occasionally do work. Manchester now going to be the ones backed into the corner against Brighton. We'll see what they've got for us. So they head out onto the point extremely quickly. Of course, we've got Lucio's coming in. Lucio's? Oh man, I'm getting confused with the names now because of the team names. Coming in from both sides to enable that big old fast push.
Terrifying Reaper pick coming out from there. Great read onto this three-man team. So either they know what they were going to do, or it was just a great read all in all. So they're going to be jumping onto the point. Void Boy is a little bit charged up, but not quite enough. Jamie does push in again. Hyde is jumping on the point, keeping everyone alive, but Tamantom pushes Jamie into a wall, but keeps alive from a lot of healing coming out from Stab and Wow Apples. They're getting pushed back though, and it looks horrifying on the side of Manchester as they all get blasted into the point, and those grenades are doing work.
Little Jamie coming a little too late to save the rest of the team, and Manchester are going to get pushed back just far enough to keep them from contesting. It looks like Brighton, in fact, want to take the fight out in the corridor. Going to bring out the coalescence from the side of Manchester. We're going to try and cross the beams here, but so far Brighton are holding.
Really great read from Hyde, actually. He dropped his shield, though, just in time at SBI. They jumped him out of the way, and it actually got picked up by the self-destruct, so really well played by SBI. But a great read from Hyde, all in all, knowing that he would charge immediately as it was available, charged into him, and stopped the push there and then. Could have gone a lot in the favour unless SBI managed to get that lovely boop off, sending him to his doom inside the bomb. But they're going to jump back onto point now. Hyde trying to charge some up. Void Boy, but you see how heavy he is. Silver gets popped in the background, so that's no coalescence now for their side, and a big grab goes down. They're looking for some more picks, and little Jamie self-destruct finds free in this fight.
This is a Gwombo combo that we've been waiting for from Manchester. It's been possible for a long time, but hasn't really been cashed in. I'm finally going to get back into this. Now Brighton with the 1 point already. If they can win out on this particular round, they will be going to a third series with Manchester. Manchester, of course, can do everything they can to stop that from happening. Brighton do have the ult advantage. They just need to get back onto the center point one more time.
Push in alongside this Riptide, not giving them a lot of time to think about it. Popped on the side here, but does find Tefrite in the background. Will find the kill onto Hyde, but it doesn't matter because Tefrite's out this fight, so they don't have to worry about this AoE grenade. Little Jamie getting pushed into corner by Tamantom, but he's not protecting his team enough, so that shield isn't being used to great. Both coalescence coming out, both beams, but Silver will be poor prey to a pulse bomb, and that's both of the support sort coming on the side of Brighton Bronzy, which is not wise at all, but a big shadow comes out alongside Chapo, finds free here. And that is ridiculous. That's got to be a hex double kill. That's kind of it.
I think so. Wow, Chapo, we called it out from the beginning of the game, Blank. The Reaper is going to be the unknown quantity for the Bronzies, as of yet to come out here and proves its worth in these close quarters. Absolutely devastating. Manchester now distinctly on the ropes.
Exactly, the Edgelord becomes the Grim Reaper in this case and sends the rest of the team packing to Hell's Door. And Hyde is going to try push in again, does not want to take his team too much damage. They're using the actual terrain to their advantage here, fighting behind these walls. A very well played from this team. Self-destruct comes out, it's perfectly placed. Will it find anyone? No. And he's going to be popped out of the fight. Hyde is taking a lot of damage, but that shield is going to keep him nice and healthy. Riptide comes out now, they need to be careful of this. It goes down, looking for some kills, but the sound barrier is going to keep out, so he's just going to jump around a bit. Maybe they should have had some time to take that out. They didn't, and Chapo's going to continue to use the Hellfire shotgun to his advantage. Little Jamie is back in the fight. Staff is almost at coalescence. Can use it very, very shortly to keep his flame alive, but not if Tamantom uses those amazing charges to push you into the wall. Wild's just trying to keep the dream alive here as he surfs and skates around this point, but the coalescence is doing work. Little Jamie still on the point now. Overtime is coming down, but a lovely shadow will take down Hyde and Little Jamie alongside him. This could be going over to Brighton Bronzies, and it will. We're going to go into a death match here, Counterfeit.
That's right. At the end of this match, all these players may or may not have to sacrifice their lives IRL. We're in the dark matches between the touring games. So anything it goes. Really nicely played by the Bronzies here. And of course, we can't go past without mentioning Chapo one more time. Absolutely monstrous on this Reaper.
It's a shame he didn't have an emote though. That's the real shame.
I feel like the emote was expressed through that violence.
Indeed. I just wanted to see the, the shrug.
Hey!
I guess I killed
huh?
6.
So that will be 1-1 between Manchester and the Bronzies. I do believe that will mean we'll have a third time round between the two. I honestly expected, based on what we saw from the first match, that Manchester could easily have taken that 2-0, but Bronzies dug down deep and it worked out extremely well.
It looks like it's just going to be a 1-1 here. Chapo bringing it back. I don't think they have time for another game here, so we may be just cutting the stream short.
Well, you guys will have to come back and join us again another time to see the official matches between the Brighton Bronzies and the Luciers. They are very closely tied as far as team goes, so there's every chance we will get to see them again on stream, or at least they'll play each other. But for now, I guess we'll have to be content with some extremely good Overwatch action, completely unsanctioned, and for your viewing pleasure.
Indeed, I've been Blank, and that's been Counterfeit, and we'll catch you guys next time.
As